Welcome to another episode of Video Game Commentary by Tennisaloha. I am your host, Weko, and we're going to keep playing Tennis in the Face today. It's a silly game about a tennis player who needs to knock out his opponents with tennis balls. Hopefully hit him in the face. Alright, let's get started. I did notice last time, actually, let's do this now. Let's lower the music volume, and we'll see what we can do with that. And then this thing's, yeah, it's too loud, but anyways. Alright, let's keep playing. I did notice last time I did not take too many shots, so this time around I'm definitely gonna take a lot more shots here. Let's clear the first stage. That seems viable right here. Let's see what happens. Nothing. Okay. That wasn't that bad of a shot if I had hit this guy. Let's retry this stage. So as always, we're always going to have some kind of discussion during the video game commentaries. Therefore, the commentary part of it. And the first thing I like to talk about is players that don't like going to the net. So we all know that, you know, as you play tennis, you start playing better people, and you realize there's a whole bunch of players out there who are really good and can beat you pretty easily. I mean, this happens to every player. And one of the reasons that, or one thing you notice about or one thing that you notice when you get beat, let's see here, is that one of the biggest thing that, or one of the main things differently about your game and their game is that they're more rounded. They have more answers to like, you know, the point. So they may have good ground strokes, but when they go to the net, they put the ball away. And if this is something that you don't usually do in your matches, you're missing out. And the person that does these kind of things, that mixes their game a little more, you know, has an advantage. So having said that, it is of course better to have a more rounded game, to have more weapons or to have more skills. And the volleys are part of it. You may not use your volleys too much in a match, but the few times that you do use it or use the volleys, it's going to be critical that you put those points away if you want to beat someone that's not as easy for you to beat. So all that to say that we all can agree that you need good volleys to play good tennis. And the thing is that, like, when we get out there and practice, especially if we're not playing matches, if we're just, or even if we're playing a match, but let's say we're gonna play a match and, you know, we're gonna hit a good 20 minutes before the match. How much of those 20 minutes do you spend hitting volleys? And I mean, you know, 90% of the people that I've seen play tennis, or even more maybe, only hit a few volleys when they practice. Like they don't hit that many, and they're missing out on a good practice and a good warm up for for the match. And so the few times that they go to the net on the match, they don't have the weapons needed. So when you're out there, whether it is warming up or playing a match, well, playing a match, you don't really have to go to the net if you don't have to or you don't want to. So you might not go to the net alone in the match. But when you are practicing, at least you have to make sure you hit a lot of volleys, and that's gonna make a huge difference in your game. So if you don't like volleys, I understand that. Almost no one likes volleys, not as much as ground strokes, right? We all like to just hit from the baseline and rally. But one thing that you can do to start enjoying hitting volleys more is you can have a mindset of not just hitting volleys when you warm up, but actually rally with the volley. And what that means is that when you're hitting volleys with your partner or opponent that you're warming up or you're just practicing with, make sure you try to rally with your volleys. And that means giving them a nice ball, not like not a put away ball. You hit a soft rally ball, and that's gonna give you a lot of touch in the long run. You're gonna be able to feel the ball a lot more. Your volleys will improve, and a whole host of things are gonna get better in your game. Even your ground strokes are gonna get better, because again, that's a big reason why some players plateau or stop improving. It has to do with the fact that they avoid the volleys. So and especially rallying with the volley, not just I got in trouble in this stage over here. Yeah, not just hitting volleys, to get better, because then you'll hit winning shots or you'll try to put away the volley, and that gets old really quick. If you're hitting volleys to put it away when you're practicing with a partner, you're only gonna do a few times before they're like, all right, let's do something else. Either you or them. So that's pretty much it. The backhand volley is one of the shots that's like not everybody has a backhand volley, and a lot of people really dislike it. They find it very, very hard. So practice that. Like again, the backhand volley, like if you get really good at it, it'll have consequences that are really good for your game. For example, you'll be able to slice better because you have more touch, and you can feel the ball on your strings. So both your backhand volley and your backhand slice will get better, and even I will say the backhand drive, in some way, again because of the touch. But mainly those two shots are going to be improved. So to wrap it up, take volleys. Whenever you're out there hitting, practicing, warming up, take some volleys, and not just take as many as you like, take a little bit more than those, like more volleys than you would like to take. Okay? That's gonna really improve your game in the long run, and you'll be a lot harder to beat, and you'll beat guys that you've never beaten before. All right, moving on to the second topic, two-hander forehands. It's a funny topic, actually. Well, it's a serious topic because you see it out there. Some people have a oh, come on. Some people have a two-hander forehand, and sometimes you wonder, like, you know, there's something wrong with them in a way, because especially if they're beginners, because you think that they can't hit with one hand for some reason. You know, they're not doing it on purpose. It's more like they can't do one-handed. But I'm gonna say, in personal experience, I think that the two-hander forehand, for some people it's natural. That's just the way they feel comfortable hitting, and it's actually not so bad of a thing. I would say that the one-hander forehand is better in most ways. You have more reach, you have more room to swing, so the swing can get longer. You can be faster with it at some point, up to a point. And so it seems like the one-hander forehand is a no-brainer, and people who use a one-hander forehand, a two-hander forehand, there's something wrong with them. But there's actually some benefits to the two-hander forehand, and the only way that you can notice this is if you ever played against a two-hander forehand. Now, there are two-hander forehand pros that have made it, have made a name for themselves in the tour. For example, Monica Seles. Okay, she had a very unorthodox type of game, using two hands on the forehand, and I think the backhand was also two-hander. So there's proof already that it can be as good a shot as anyone else's, or anyone else with a one-hander forehand. But you don't see it that often. I mean, we're talking about a few. Robredo was another player in the men's side who used a two-hander forehand. Wait, was it Robredo? No, Santoro. I'm sorry, Santoro. Yeah, Robredo uses a one-hander forehand, but Robredo, Santoro used a two-hander forehand, and he was very tough in the matches. He wasn't like the best, but he would always give all kinds of players all kinds of trouble. So there's proof already that it can be a really good shot. But if you ever played against a two-hander forehand, you notice what the benefits are. And in my opinion, is like one of the things is the come on, fall. Oh man. One of the things is the support. The support that they get on the shot. And because they have support, they also have the ability to put a lot of power on the ball if they don't have to stretch wide. So sometimes when they have the ball set up right next to them on the two-handed forehand, they'll hit it really hard with a lot of spin, and it might be even more than a regular, when you're used to with one-handers. And also when they're running, and when you hit a wide shot to their forehand and they run to it, yes, they lose the reach, but they also, because of the support that I mentioned that they have, come on. Oh boy, how am I gonna get this guy? Let's see. Oh, I got. Because of the support that they have when they're running for the forehand and a two-hander forehand, they have a lot more support, and they are able to come up with a better answer, maybe even an aggressive answer. and sometimes they can hit that shot down the line on the forehand side. So you hit to their forehand. Let's say you're on your forehand, right? And you hit cross court to their forehand, and they're running, and they can hit the down the line shot, in my opinion, better than the one-handers, because they have more support, and it's a more steady shot once you're swinging. If you're swinging with two hands, you have more leverage in a way. So that's the pros. Now again, you don't see it in the tour because it is unorthodox, like, because the one-hander is better. So if you have a choice and you can hit a one-hander, why wouldn't you? But again, some people might just find it more natural. Another thing is that the other thing is shoulder rotation, and a player that learns the two-hander forehand as their primary, like when they started tennis, they learned the two-hander forehand. It is likely that they have a better rotation than some of the players who hit with one hand, because you have to rotate your shoulders with a two-hander. It's kind of like the the two-hander backhand, where the shoulders rotate a lot more than the one-hander, for obvious reasons. But it is also true for the two-hander forehand. However, of course, like somebody that learns the one-hander and have no issues rotating and can rotate a lot on the shot, they're not going to have an issue, or it's not something that can be fixed by acquiring a two-hander forehand. So I hope I'm not losing you with all this, but one of the pros of the two-hander forehand, again, it's the rotation and the support, and it can be a very good weapon, especially if the player can also hit maybe a one-hander slice forehand. Then even better, that might round up more the game of the player. So yeah, pretty interesting stuff with the two-handers. If you ever play against them, just remember to not underestimate that forehand. Be patient and make them move on their forehand, because again, they don't have the reach, and you can dictate play a little more with that. All right, that wraps up that topic. All right, guys, that is all for today. I hope you enjoyed it. Video game commentary. I'll catch you on the next one, okay? Take care.